Dandia, the Marketing Director for Indian Snacks Foods PepsiCo India. Ms. Vani has proven successes over 19 years on the best of global brands like Coke, Adidas, Cosmopolitan, Wheat, Dove, Sunsilk, and now Kurkure. She managed cross-cultural teams, managed complex launches, developed innovations, mixes for different markets, most importantly, created and nurtured consumer love. Also, she was featured in the annual by the Business Today as the hottest young executive under 14 2015 in a nationwide survey. So we have someone really hot here on the stage with us, and she's also amongst the 100 most influential marketing leaders listed by the World Marketing Congress for 2016. Presenting on stage, Ms. Vani Gupta Dandia. Welcome on the stage, ma'am. Everyone, please give her a big hand.
Hi, everybody. I'm deeply conscious of the fact that this is post-lunch, and you've been sitting through the morning, and I can see that the attendance is somewhat thin. So I have the terrible responsibility on my shoulders of keeping you adequately entertained. So I am going to try and do exactly that. I'm going to be the bit of a comic relief through the day in this entire summit. So I have this. I was told that I can speak on any subject related to digital, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about the ecosystem that we're all thriving in now, or that we're all grappling with in the age of digital. So for me, I'm both a marketer and a consumer, and I think the first most significant challenge, and it's both an opportunity and a challenge in the ecosystem, is just the surfeit of data that we're confronted with. Data for consumers as well as data for marketers. And I'm going to attempt to talk to you a little bit about the implications that it has for both consumers and marketers, and the very little that I understand, and I must admit there is only little that I understand. And I will show you a couple of case studies on how Pepsi has tried to use some of these learnings. So I have a couple of case studies to show you, and that's pretty much all that I will share with you. So first, in terms of some numbers, this was really eye-opening for me. Do you know that TV advertising today is 27,000 crores, 17,500 crores is print, digital is 7,500 crores. Digital is 7,500 crores, of which mobile alone is 4,500 crores. So the numbers you see are really big. One never thought, even 5 years back, that digital could be as big as it is today. And mobile spending is only expected to go up, so much so that it is expected to touch 10,000 crores by 2018. And hence, digital will actually be the number 2 vehicle on which marketers will be spending money on after TV. So it's not going to be print, it's not going to be radio, it's actually going to be digital, which will be the number 2 media vehicle on which consumers are going to be, or marketers are going to be spending money. Now, digital itself is a relatively new medium, and I think it's important for us to understand what marketers are doing with it. But even before that, let's come to consumers. One of the things that I've learned about consumers is that there is this increasing trend of micro-celebrities. If you see, if you look at India's demographics, for example, much of our population, over 50% of our population, is under 35 years of age. So we're a very, very young country. And in this young country, the one thing that we see about millennials globally, and of course there's so much talk on millennials that I can't stand here and tell you enough about all that millennials are about. But the one thing about millennials that we are observing is that they're very easily bored. They're looking to make a mark. Even in organizations, you always see they don't wish to do anything that's routine. And they're always asking questions like, what's in it for me? They're very, very individualistic. They're very, very achievement oriented. And they're looking to burnish their own status. They're looking to burnish their own name in an organization. And all of this if you see it manifesting in terms of what we're seeing around us, you see the growth of platforms like Twitter and Instagram is basically fueled by the need for individual expression. It's fueled by the need to stand out and become a celebrity. So essentially, I think all of these millennials and all of us, we're all functioning in some ways in this new celebrity economy, you know, and what therefore is surprising for us as marketers is, or should I say not so much surprising, but a learning for us, stuff that we have to learn, we have to go back to the drawing board and learn in terms of what we can do, is how do we manage this trend of micro celebrities? Or what can I do as a marketer to get this millennial's attention? How can I get her to speak positively about my brand or think positively about my brand in this scenario where her agenda is entirely to be able to stand out? I was reading a report just as I was sitting outside, you know. Instagram actually did this research where they've actually found, Instagram of course you see is the domain of the young and the restless, and Instagram has seen the growth of many micro celebrities, you know. There are kids who wake up in the morning and the first thing they do is to actually check their Instagram account or the number of followers that they have. They actually check. The first thing that they do is check their Facebook accounts and check Twitter accounts. Before I come to that study, there's another very interesting statistic I'm reminded of. You know, I'd gone for another such digital conference and I'd met somebody from BlackBerry, and this was almost, I think, 3 years back, when he told me that there is this statistic that BlackBerry has for consumers in India. As per a research that they had done, they had found at that time that the average 20-something clicks more than 65 selfies in a day. More than 65 selfies in a day. And why are they clicking these selfies? The only reason why they are clicking them is to be able to upload it on some social account, you know. So you see, the trend has sort of started from there. And the research I was referring to you about on Instagram was Instagram is similarly seeing not just the rise of micro celebrities, what they're also seeing is that from a marketer's point of view, consumers or viewers of these accounts actually have a more positive attitude towards micro celebrities than they have towards, you know, big celebrities that you see on movies and on TV. And why is that? Because there is a growing skepticism of anything that is paid. We're seeing that in our own world, you know. For me, as having been born and brought up in my working experience through the years as a conventional marketer, for us making a great TV ad campaign was everything. But now we're seeing a gradual death of the traditional medium, because consumers are becoming more and more cynical. Consumers are telling you, oh, you must have paid such and such to say blah blah. You know, today this consumer is endorsing this, tomorrow the consumers will endorse this. How am I to believe, or why am I to believe that this product will actually do blah blah as you are saying it? Consumers are more willing to believe other consumers. They're more willing to believe other users. And what a lot of these technology platforms are doing is to offer a medium to consumers to tell other consumers that this is worth it. So you see, even for brands, if brands could actually harness the power of these micro celebrities and get these micro celebrities to speak positively about, you know, the brands that we pervade, we would get so much more real affinity. We'd be able to build real bonds with consumers, which today we are struggling to. So it's been a learning curve for us as marketers as well. And over here, I just want to show you a couple of case studies that we at PepsiCo have done on. So one is on Pepsi. I'm sure you're familiar with Crash the IPL. So on Crash the IPL, for the first time, we said, why don't we get consumers to make the Pepsi ad? And the genesis of this was really quite simple. You know, we heard a lot of buzz where consumers kept telling us, and even internally, we used to admit, we used to say, you know, the Pepsi ads just don't have that kind of buzz anymore. You know, some of the older ads were so much more entertaining, they were so much more fun. We said, we're just so tired of hearing this. Why don't we tell consumers, you make the ad for us? And sure enough, today consumers can, because everybody has a mobile phone and everybody is making short format videos on their mobile phone. They're all the time on some screen. We were amazed at the number of entries that we got. We went absolutely crazy internally, just screaming the number of entries that we got. And we realized that it's actually a lot easier to engage with consumers in a way where we allow them to become micro-celebrities, where we allow them a platform to express. And through it all, we were actually able to get very real consumer buzz, you know, that saw the brand shot up on all metrics. The second case study that I will show you is a Kurkure case study. Now on Kurkure again, the insight was very simple. We wanted to make a mark during the festive season. So the Diwali season is very, very big for us in terms of sales. But it's also very difficult for us to fight against all of the sweets, all of the chocolates, because Diwali is all about mithai and chocolates, and we are a salty brand. And every year, you know, the challenge is what kind of growth can I get to leverage that period of festive spending. So we said, what can we do over here with millennials that would really find cachet? And we said, we hit upon this insight, it actually came from Google, which was that during Diwali, the #1 searched item on Google is actually Diwali greetings. It's an e-greeting card, which is the most searched item. But when we went onto Google and actually looked at the e-greeting cards, all of the e-greetings were all in the same tone. Everything was very sweet and mushy and sentimental, and you know, there'd be roses and blah and blah. And we said, oh gosh, you know, it's so not the language of the young. And we said, why don't we get consumers to make their own e-greetings? And we branded it the Chatpata Kurkure greeting. And we offered them basically a platform where using an app, so we partnered with Bubble app, where using an app you could take pictures from Facebook, create your own customized, send those, you know, with some sort of a Chatpata message. So we of course started by seeding in some, you know, really witty, humorous Chatpata greetings, and then we invited consumers and viewers to make their own. And we were amazed again at the kind of response that we got. We had, you know, on one day our site actually crashed because of the number of entries that we got and the number of greetings that were created. So for me, it's been a huge learning in terms of how do you create a buzz with millennials in such a way where you actually let go of the brand. And I think the one big learning for us as marketers is the ability to customize and the ability to actually let go of your brand. You know, as conventional marketers, we've always been very, very uptight about, oh, I understand the brand. You know, I understand the brand essence. I know exactly on what mediums I should be putting the brand message on, exactly how the brand message should be crafted, what are the different branding elements, the colors to it, etc., etc. But now, in this new age world where conversations are becoming a lot more two-way and consumers are not so receptive to one-way messages but are looking for engagement, are looking to stand out, one has to have the generosity to let consumers play with your brand. And the idea is, how do you as a marketer just come in at that right point where you're able to moderate the discussion, if at all, in a positive way. So let me with this show you the two case studies. Can we have the video, please? You can play both of them one after the other.
Festivals, a time for celebrations, family. Festivals, a time for celebrations, family bonds, and an avalanche of sweets, and more sweets. Indian festivals are a diabetic's worst nightmare, with an overdose of sweets wherever you look, including brands that have got on this bandwagon. How does Kurkure, India's favorite savory snack, spice up this air of festive sweetness and break this sweet monopoly over festivals? By flipping the festive conversation with just one question. Why so sweet? During festivals, people feel the need to be unnecessarily polite and sweet talk everyone around. Kaise hai aap? Badhiya. So honest, from the heart feelings are replaced by formal sugar-coated words.
नहीं पहले आप
पहले आप नहीं कर सकते.
What they say, they don't mean. And what they mean, they don't say. Kurkure, with its own brand of quirky humor, decided to cut through this sweetness, taking on saccharine sweet statements heard across households all over India and giving them a chatpata twist.
दिवाली
Hi, Auntie.
Hi beta, how are you?
Chai?
थोड़ा सा, thank you. और कुछ
थोड़ा सा. Okay, ये थोड़ी सी चाय, थोड़ा सा कुरकुरे.
So sweet, yeah.
अरे why so sweet, Auntie? Big चटपटा.
So sweet, yeah. Big चटपटा, big कुरकुरे, just your heart.
Adding this chatpata flavor to regional ads as well. We changed the tone of festive greetings from sweet to spicy with a microsite that allowed people to send customized chatpata greetings to loved ones. It became the rib-tickling theme across India, with stand-up comedians bringing down the house at the Why So Sweet Comedy Fest. Why So Sweet struck a chord with consumers with outstanding impressions on social media, lots of media coverage, and a big thumbs up from celebrities. Rather than just being a campaign line, Why So Sweet became the flavor of the festive season, bringing families across India a much needed chatpata relief from the overbearing festive sweetness with just 3 words.
So why so sweet? Why so sweet? Why so sweet?
Why so sweet, yeah. Big चटपटा, big कुरकुरे, just your heart.
2015 was just another year. Marketers were doing the same thing they do every year. Youngsters were doing what they always do, flipping channels. And then, something happened that changed the course of history as we know it. As part of the global Pepsi challenge, Pepsi disrupted traditional marketing paradigms and launched Crash the Pepsi IPO, an audacious 4-phased, 13-week crowdsourced multimedia program during India's biggest sporting event, the Indian Premier League. Crash the Pepsi IPO challenged the youth to make their own 30-second Pepsi commercial that would, wait for it, replace Pepsi's official advertising on national TV every weekend during the Pepsi IPO. Exit big production houses, enter popular culture. We timed the launch with the global Pepsi Challenge Thunderclap, delivering a PR value of more than 42 million, 30 million plus reach, and over 300 print exposures in 1 week. Launching it on TV is all very good. But how did we launch it on social and on ground, involving the entire creative community of India? We crashed the YouTube Fan Fest. And mind you, the first brand to do so. Also a global first for Google. Score and win. India's biggest social celebrities like TVF, Kanan and Biswa, Marty Vani, SMG Comedy, and many more created their own Pepsi films. Google also gave us direct on-ground access to a community of over 1,000 YouTube content creators in India. Hashtag win. we pioneered some interesting innovations on the way, including the YouTube pre-roll that really wasn't, engaging consumers through multiple phases of CIPL and driving traffic to our website. The pre-rolls delivered a stellar CTR of 9%. That's 2.5 times the industry average. Once on the Crash the Pepsi IPL website, consumers could find all the rules, tools and inspiration they needed to make their own Pepsi app. We also got into strategic tie-ups with the big three of the social world, Google, Facebook and Twitter, making it the biggest branded crowdsourcing campaign ever in the history of Indian advertising. We received a whopping 2,700 plus entries in just 6 weeks, making Crash the Pepsi IPL Pepsi's biggest ever integrated social campaign. We could have stopped there, but where's the fun in that? We leveraged our on-ground IPL assets and broadcast associations. These integrations delivered 160 million rupees worth of media value. A campaign as awesome as this deserved an awesome jury. So we chose the hottest names in Indian entertainment. Pepsi ambassador and Bollywood heartthrob Ranbir Kapoor, award-winning filmmaker Gautam Menon, India's top musician Preetham, and best-selling author Anuja Chauhan. Our jury chose 5 winners whose ads were aired on national telly. For the 6th and final winner, we democratized the selection process and got the whole country to vote for the final winner. The 6 winning films drove strong social conversations, generating 20 million plus views, more than 1,200 articles and 250 plus blogs. The winners were further celebrated and fist-bumped through exclusive tie-ups with CNBC's Storyboard, India's leading marketing show. Not to be left behind, IPL teams and TV celebs got in on the action, including the terrible twins of TV. Our social innovations for the campaign delivered fabulous results. Well, total impressions 669 million plus, total reach 69 million plus, total engagement 27 million plus, and total views 20 million plus. Crash the Pepsi IPL gave us powerful equity wins too. Brand Pepsi had the highest BPS gain of any CSD brand in 2015 and became India's #1 without Cola. We measured our digital footprint through a first ever mobile and digital tracking study with Google and Nielsen. This only reaffirmed the campaign's status as the biggest social and digital campaign in the history of Indian marketing. It'd be a lie if we said we didn't aim to bag awards. We did. And boy did we bring some babies home. Best Digital Marketing Campaign and Best Social Media Integrated Campaign at the CMO Asia Awards Singapore. At the Emmys Award, we won the gold for Best Media Innovation Digital for the Pepsi Loop Room. At the Smarties, we won Mobile Marketer of the Year. Of course, the numbers talked, but what shouted louder was India's overwhelming love for Pepsi. 2015.
So that's what I have. Any questions?
Which agency did you connect up for this?
JWT. But we had not just JWT, we had a lot of partner agencies working with us. So Mindshare was working with us. We had, I forget the name of the digital agency. We had a number of agencies working with us.
Did it actually reflect on the bottom line as well? And how did you measure that?
That's a tough one. So we did see a spurt in sales, but the spurt in sales, so we gained a market share. As per the numbers that we track internally, we gained 0.1% market share. So we use something called Canadian, which looks at shipments between Coca-Cola and us. And on that, we gained 0.1% market share. But what's important for us to understand is that, you know, for a brand like Pepsi, love for the brand and the ability to be in the youth's mind space is actually more important than anything else. Because sales is also determined by the number of coolers we have, our ability for distribution to actually maintain cooler purity, and there are a number of other metrics. In fact, what is interesting is that in the CST business, the brand is not the first determinant of sales. The first determinant of sales is actually your ability to service the shop, and that is a constant battle, So, if to create a positive affinity, with my target audience, with the millennials, then I'm in a great space. And I think what this campaign did do was definitely that. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.